a healthy masculine doesn't even need to promise or say the words. They will show up. So here's another interesting thing about accountability. Did you know that it's a scientific fact, and I hope everybody's listening, whether it's on the video or wherever, and you guys are listening. It's a scientific fact that when the brain, the way it's wired, when words are expressed, so when it processes information verbally through the auditory canal, the way it's wired with the brain, the nervous system wired with the brain, it can only distinguish between what is true and what is false only 50% of the time. Did you know that? So when someone says something to you, when they're saying, I love you, they're saying this to you, you can only distinguish whether it's true or it's actually true or actually not true only up to 50% of the time. But here's the real kicker. The other sensory parts of our nervous system, which tend to do with touch, which tend to do with sight, which tend to do with hearing, not hearing, which tend to do with feeling and intuition, really, which is what they call like sixth sense, so to speak. But even through your skin, you'll feel it. In your gut, you'll feel it. Those senses are wired with the brain so that if you have to process a piece of information that you're getting, you can distinguish between true and false up to 90% of the time. What this means is, if someone tells you they love you, if they say they want to be there for you, if they say they want to commit, your brain may or may not know that's actually true, it'll just believe it because it can't distinguish. But when you sense and you feel and you see them, that's when it's actually true. That's why for me personally, what I try to step into as a masculine is not needing to say what I'm going to do, but actually fucking show up. Because that's how you know it's genuine. And the same vice versa for my partner. I don't even expect them to say they love me anymore. But I expect and desire for them to show up as if they did. Because that's when I know for sure, up to 90%, that it is more likely true. Now, why does this relate to the masculine? Because when someone commits or creates a commitment in a relationship, when they say, this is who I am, this is why I don't do dating apps. I've probably done a dating app one point after a breakup 7 years ago, and I'll be honest, just to get some quick sex. And that's basically it. I did it for like a few days. That's why I have a challenge with dating apps, is because you create a market of what you're trying to put on. How do you know if it's true or false or whatever? You know? And we'll come into the feminine and how, like, when we're not into our feminine, we tend to step into dating apps too much. It's the fear-based mentality that tends to want us to find relationships from a marketplace, because we don't trust our intuition, our serendipity. So we'll get that later. Okay, but commitment, discipline, yes.
So how does verbal reassurance, and then when verbal reassurance feels so good?
Why does it feel so good? You just said, you asked and answered your same question. You said, when does verbal assurance come in? When it feels so good. Who does it feel so good to? To us, in your experience, to you. Why does it feel so good? Because our egos are willing to rely on that 50% of a chance that it might be true, and even if it's not true, our ego is willing to listen to the fact that I will make it true in the 50% false chance.
So even if their actions aren't there, so all I have to do is still believe it when they say it.
Exactly. That's the point. And so when we start to connect with ourselves more, and we start to, yesterday we did an inner child meditation, we learn to step into valuing and loving ourselves. When we start to show up for ourselves more, 50% is not enough. Because if I'm showing up for myself at least 70 to 80%, I fucking expect you to show up for me to that same level of quality of love that I now receive from myself, right? It doesn't mean you have to take 80% out of your life to show up for me, but that has to be the quality. It no longer can be, I'm not there, but I send you a text saying, I'll promise I'll be there. And I'm like, okay, let me believe you. In fact, most of us fall in love with potential. That's an unfortunate truth. We don't fall in love with reality. We fall in love with who we want someone to be rather than who they actually are. Now, why is that? Again, winding backwards because of our conditioning, because of how much we want the love that we're willing to manufacture and believe and make true of that, even though it's not true. So, if you want a partner who can really show up for you, don't ask them if they can show up for you. Watch how they show up for you. Hey, and welcome to the Inner Yats YouTube page. If you like our content, make sure you click the like and the subscribe button so that you get more of these amazing videos that keep coming your way.